Speaker, I second the motion that the majority report be amended. I second the motion that the majority report be amended so that all the nominees are approved by this House. And I ask the House to uphold and approve all the nominees. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members. Honorable members. Order, Honorable Adi. Honorable members. The amendment, we have 3 amendments on the floor. Now, the floor is open for the debate for the amendment. Honorable Adi. Honorable Sadia, then Adi is not ready.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to support the amendment, Mr. Speaker, that the members, the majority report, which is they rejected but we approve, and maybe progressively consider other minorities in this county, Mr. Speaker. We also have a minority in the same, attorney is also a minority in this county, Mr. Speaker. Because we are having Flavia K. Gekone, who is a Kisii, and she's a minority, Mr. Speaker. So we cannot say that minorities are not represented. Mr. Speaker, we need to understand the meaning of minority in this county. And I am saying that we also have other minorities to be considered in the upcoming appointment. Mr. Speaker, I would also like to highlight on the regional balancing. Mr. Speaker, you know that Moyale is having 7 wards, and that makes them to produce many members of the county assembly and becoming majority in this county assembly, Mr. Speaker, having 7 members. And if you include the nominated members, Mr. Speaker, we are above the quorum in this county, Mr. Speaker, in this county assembly, so that we can also debate alone sometimes. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that in the regional balancing, you can see that many tribes or many communities live in Moyale and even in Marsabit. You can see that many minorities or even many other tribes, the 14 tribes, we are actually the 15 tribes, live in Moyale and Marsabit sub-county, many of them, the majority of them. And so, if many members are considered from Moyale, it doesn't mean that only one tribe has been considered. Many tribes have been considered in that Moyale, Mr. Speaker. So that regional balancing, Mr. Speaker, I think people need to understand the meaning of regional balancing and know the people who are living in that area, Mr. Speaker, because it is not only one tribe living in Moyale, and we don't have also one tribe living in Marsabit. Yes.
Honorable Purcha, point of order.
Honorable Speaker, my conscience is clear.
Make utilize the mic, Honorable.
My conscience is clear. My minority are not considered. To be sincere, to ourselves and before God and before the people of Marsabit. And tomorrow it will haunt you. My dear sister, Sadia, was running around because she was minority and she was, people are trying to refuse her that position. That's why she was running all around the county. That's why.
Order, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I want to correct the honorable member that I have not been, nobody, even the minorities have never denied my appointment, my nomination to this county assembly. And Mr. Speaker, you should know that I was not taken to the court by the minorities. The person who took me to court is a youth representative and she's a Borana and a Karayu clan, if you want me to clarify. So I am representing minority, Mr. Speaker. What I'm saying or what I'm proving to this House, Mr. Speaker, we cannot say that minorities have not been considered when we are seeing a name of a Kisii here, who is a minority living in our county. Mr. Speaker, that one does not mean that minorities have not been considered. Even if one person is here, Mr. Speaker, as an attorney, Mr. Speaker, they have already been, you see, we cannot, these chances are not many to fit everybody, Mr. Speaker, because we have many minorities. Look at Conso, Mr. Speaker. We are also having Conso as a minority in this county, Mr. Speaker. YU is another one.
Order, Mr. Order, Honorable Sadia.
She's a strong woman. That's why people, all the minority in Marsabit, gang to support her, and that's why she will come back to the assembly. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I think on the side of regional balance, if 6 members of this nominees are from one region, what does it tell you? It tells you that economically one side of the county is empowered. So regionally they are not in balance. So the nominating authority should take care of that progressively. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Order, Madam Sadia, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's in record that today Sadia Araru, Honorable, was refusing to be minority. Mr. Speaker, Flavia, the attorney, the person who was nominated in that office, she is here just to bring national integration, not minority in Marsabit County. That's the information I want to give. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Honorable Eruk.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just a point of clarification from Honorable Sadia that today she's behaving like she's out of her mind. And I just want to refer her back to the Constitution of Kenya, Section 52, and the County Act, I mean Section 56, sorry, Mr. Speaker, and Section 35, subsection 2 of the County Act. It clearly spells that what representation is and what minorities is. But it's good that the honorable members who are talking to this house today, they are openly telling this house that Burji and Samburu are minorities. It's not bad. You are sending a president to this house. Tomorrow, Gabra or Samburu will take a governor, and we will take 6 nominees to the same region, and then we want you again to come here and shout about the imbalance in the entire county. It's not bad. So the thing before this house is we are not talking about the suitability of the nominees. That one is not our issue we are talking here. The vetting and appointment committee has no issues with the nominees. We have issues with the appointing authority, the balancing, the regional balance, the representation of the minority. That is the point. And according to our verdicts or our recommendation, I stand that the appointing authority has not give us the well-represented nominees, and that one should stand like that. And I consider the appointing authority in the near future or the near appointment to consider the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, thank you. Honorable Sadia, you want to say something?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I am in support of the minority representatives, Mr. Speaker. I am not denying that. I am saying we pass this, we approve this report and progressively consider other minorities, because we have several minorities in this county, and this position is only 10, and it cannot fit all the minorities if we say that they are supposed to be given a position. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I am in support that minorities are supposed to be considered, and I think I am in record saying that minorities should also be considered in subsequent appointment. We are also having chief officers coming to this house, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think we need, it is not only one position that we need in chief officers, but many minorities who have not been considered in this position, Mr. Speaker, can be given, many of them can be considered in chief officers, not only one, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Sadia. Honorable Adi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to raise point of information. What we have before the House is CEC appointment, not CEOs. So the issue of Honorable Sadia talking about the CEOs, I think it's out of order. Thank you. Yes. So I want to believe that the vetting committee of this House was mandated to represent us. So by larger extent, we have to respect, even if it's before the plenary, we have to respect the decision. Back to the issue of the majority supporting this, I'm in support because the nomination of CEC members doesn't represent the regional balance. and doesn't represent the minority. As we see, out of the 11, I want to say 10, minus the county attorney, the nominees are from 6 tribes. So we have 14 tribes in Marsabit County. So where is the El Molo, where is the Turkana, where is the Kona tribes? So I support the majority decision that it doesn't represent the regional balance. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Did.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine is just a very small input on the said issue of minority. When we are talking of minority, we have to know the real minority or the literal meaning of the minority term. We have to look at many issues when we are dealing with the minority meaning. One is about the vote casting. Number 2, representation of the leadership. For example, in this house, we have just one elected MCA for the Gari community. In that case, they can be termed as minority. So, even when looking at the vote cast, they have even less than 10,000 votes in this county. In Mandera County, for example, they are majority. But when we come to Marsabit County, they are just minority group in our county. And Samburu as well. So, I am in support of all those who are saying the minority group are represented well. Number 2, when we are talking of regional balancing, we have a person from Lesamis sub-county. We have a person or persons from Nodor, as they said. Then from SAP also. But there is no section of law that states that the regions must have equal share or equal number. For Moyale having a bigger number because of cosmopolitancy and even because of the population.
Order, Honorable Odit. Honorable Burcha, you want to make point of order?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker has to go to section 35 of Government Act, section 56 of the Constitution of Kenya. Go and read, go and see what's the meaning of that.
Thank you, Honorable Burcha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, again. I can't represent to the House what I have not read. I think I read it well, and I know what I am talking, and I talk what I know. Now, when we are talking of the regional balancing, it is well and fine, represented well. When we are talking of minority, list is okay. So, as per the report of a minority for that case, let us approve the nominees and we move on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Tamasot.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker. Having read this report, afterwards, Mr. Speaker, I think what honorable members we are discussing, each one and every one of us is here is saying something reasonable. Mr. Speaker, minorities not represented. This is the first time I heard Samburus are minority, Garis are minority, Burgis are minority. I never heard it before, but let us just accept it from today, they are minority. No. Just accept it from today, they are minority. Tomorrow, they will never come majority, if anything happens. I support the report. We are going to approve the nominees, but the same word which was used today by majority of the honorable members, saying so and so, this community are minority today because of these nominees, yes, go by. And they remain minority for good. Unless we bring the people from Northeastern, then we make it a majority.
Order, Honorable.
Point of clarification, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, I think what you are debating is not the entire report, but the amendment as at now.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, but that's what the amendment is, Mr. Speaker. That's what is the amendment is. And I'm saying, I said I'm supporting the report, Mr. Speaker. But I'm just emphasizing the one which was created this morning or this afternoon because of these nominees, 10 nominees or 11 with the Anthony. Mr. Speaker, having said so, since the committee did not totally dispute qualification of the honorable nominees, the chapter 6, I think majority of the, if you can go to that, the committee is okay with it. Representation, people with disability, youth, women, they are represented in these nominees. So Speaker, let's go as per the amendment which was made by just removing not. I think that's the only word which was removed. Yes. If I'm not wrong. The only word which was removed was not. And even that, when I read this report, it was not typed. I was writing in a pen when the majority leader says not. I think it was not typed. So the report is as it is, Mr. Speaker, to me, because that was just a handwriting amendment. Then, Mr. Speaker, having said that, tomorrow when I will come as governor of Marsabit County, if I'll put all the nominees to notor, let this other section not complain or raise issues of the regional balance, diversity. You know, it will just hit you tomorrow. Knowing maybe you think you can escape that stone, you will never. You will get a governor, maybe Mheshimiwa Jack, one day, and we will put all the nominees, maybe 8 out of 10 in this central. The honorable members from other region, let us not complain. And maybe I'm not there. Majority of us will not be there, but the ones who will come, let them not complain that the regional balance is not represented. You can even put, in this case now, the way we argue, we can even put all of them in one region and say it is regional balance. And we are being represented. So Speaker, this House of Record. So Speaker, then my advice, maybe it is just a recommendation, next coming appointment, so Speaker, let the governor or the appointing authority to consider the people whom we call minority. Because me, I'm not calling the people you call this afternoon minorities, minority. The people we call minorities, like El Moro, I think they are even reduced from 300 population, they are nowadays 25. They need to be taken care of. The Turkanas.
Order, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker.
Order, Honorable Thomas.
Just allow me to continue. You know, I am supporting you. I'm saying you to be considered next time. Mheshimiwa Daniela. Then other communities from Moyale, Marsabit, Wayu, there are so many. The one normally we call them minorities. Can they be considered in next coming nominations, Speaker? I don't know what the honorable member says when coming nominations. Trendiles and Samburu included given 5. Borana's given 3, Gavra's given 4, and maybe 1 thrown to Eidal Mall or Turkana. What can we say in that case, Mr. Speaker? Can we also still say, because it is from this county, let's just close our eyes, Mr. Speaker? Then my recommendation or my suggestion to the appointing authorities, not this house, because we are not appointing. We've failed. But, Mr. Speaker, even if we are not an appointing authority, if illegalities is done by the appointing authority, we must say no. Mr. Speaker, we don't just stamp or rubber stamp anything which is brought to this house, Mr. Speaker. Let's say no, Mr. Speaker, and say because it is not done, and this is not the first county assembly of Marsabit or in Kenya who said no. Mr. Speaker, we have data. Out of 10, 7 were rejected. Reasons are there. Out of 10, maybe 3 were rejected. Reasons are there. And reasons are being given. And let's not make cocoons here. Let's not make cocoons. We must be fair to this county, Mr. Speaker. We must be fair to this county. And you must say truth. Because today the governor is Boran, and then all Borans gang up. No, let's not make cocoons. Tomorrow, governor will be Rendile, and all Rendiles come and gang up because of injustice which is being done to other people, Mr. Speaker. Let's say spade a spade, and not a big spoon, Mr. Speaker. For saying those many words or few words, I support the report in approval. With me, it's just, there's not even an amendment, it was a pen. But if you call it an amendment, it's still okay. That was just it's not a report, it was not written. There's nothing which was deleted here. No, to me it is the same report I am discussing. But if you can call it an amendment, well and good, but I don't see any amendment here. No, that was just a pen. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you for supporting the report.
Honorable Tura.
Mr. Speaker, I rose on a point of order that my colleague have already left, but I think it's an amended version that we are debating and not an amended version of this report. That should be clear. That when you support an amended version of this report. And on issue of regional balance, it is true 6 nominees come from Moyale, but I still give a benefit of doubt as it considered Borana, considered Gabra, Gari, Burje, and that actually brings a balance into the imbalance that people are talking about as our region. If it was from one community, from one region, then we should have critically on the same. But I think because it has considered Borana, it has considered Gabra, it has considered Burje, it has considered Gari, I think we need to give benefit of doubt on the same. Secondly, on issue of minority, I think this house can come up with, we have 14 tribes that is in this county, but we have forgotten that these days there are Kikuyus, there are Kisis, there are Luos living in this county. That has all been mentioned. I think it is in order for this house to possibly come with who are majority, who are minority. For an agreed position, then we can argue the way we are arguing. As it is now, even the person who argued that Kisi is a minority in this county, then is right. I think we have to come to an agreed position instead of blaming each other, so that whenever such things happen, we look at it at an angle that we already have agreed upon. I think that is the point I wanted to raise. I stand support the amended version for approval of all then 10 and 11 nominees And what is so interesting about this report is that they are all qualified. These are citizens of Marsabit County. If at this point, after they have been said qualified, we want to remove to replace them for somebody else, then I think it's not fair to those people who are nominated here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, thank you. Honorable Jack?
Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank the vetting committee. Although they wanted us to do their work on the floor of this house. Mr. Speaker, even a madman in Moyale or Meikona knows that minorities are not represented in this CEC County Executive Committee. Mr. Speaker, as my brother said, this report of vetting committee, let us be sincere to each other. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Mohamud, I think is the third governor of Marsabit County. The second. Mr. Speaker, the Kenyans who applied for county executive committee, we have no problem with them. The minorities are not represented in Marsabit. The reason why I'm saying this, Mr. Speaker, the minorities in Marsabit are known. They are known. They are Asharaf, they are Kona tribe, they are Koso, and the Wayus of this world, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the word minority, the wording, if you go to school, define the word minority. I am the MCA for Marsabit Central Ward. I know how I came to this house. I know how I came to this house, Mr. Speaker. I support the recommendation, and all the 10 CEC members, I have no problem with them. Mr. Speaker, the residents of Marsabit have an history about this house. We agreed as members of County Assembly of Marsabit sometimes back when we were elected. After our election, Mr. Speaker, let us be clear. We support. I have no problem with the 10 CEC County Executive Committee, but let us be sincere to each other. We need to do this. I have no problem. We will support all the 10 CECs we pass in this house, but if they are not going to perform.
Order, Honorable Member. We have 11 nominees in the house. So
I know.
You support only 10.
The CECs, okay. The County Executive Committee. The other one, I think, is County Attorney.
Yes.
I support the 11. I also request the honorable members to pass. But I want to inquire one thing, and I want to recommend that we need the County Executive Committee who will perform. Before I came to this house, I was working for private sector, Mr. Speaker. I know what is happening in Marsabit County. We suffered as the private sector. I know the business community are watching. We know the issue of funding bill, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
Order. Mr. Jack.
Mr. Speaker, my brother Jack, honorable member for Central, is discussing issues of the pending bill. So I ask the honorable member to stick to the issue before the House. Thank you.
Honorable Jack.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My brother is new to County Assembly, to Marsabit. Like me, we just went with him induction, and I know what we discussed with him 30 minutes ago. Mr. Speaker, this is normal. I know the people of Marsabit. I know what the people are waiting for. My point is very clear. I want the leader of Marsabit County the governor of Marsabit kindly to recommend the minority tribe in Marsabit for the next position. It is very clear, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Edin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I think we are having a report. I've gotten the opportunity. I had a wrong report in the first instance. Now I've read it and I've understood. Mr. Speaker, in my humble contribution here, how I wish the committee would have maybe returned the report before vetting the nominees, because what they are quoting here is something that is so crucial, that minorities are not represented. It can't be discovered long after the interviews have been, vetting has been done. The vetting has been done, the vetting has been concluded, and the recommendation states here that minorities have not been represented. That ought to have happened before vetting has been done. It is enough to bring the report. It's enough to bring the report to the House that, since from the look of the thing, of the nominees.
Order, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to give information. I also want to thank Jack for saying that the member is new. The committee has no authority to return any report or any member unless the House does. That's the work of the House. That's why you are here. That's why you are elected, to correct the amendments. Not committee. Even if you go to Committee of Education tomorrow, you will be there. You bring report to this House. So any amendment, any rejection, any acceptance is done in the floor of the House. That's this information. Thank you.
Honorable Edin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do understand. As my brother Tura has said, all the members have been found to be fit to hold that office. Now, we will go back because minorities have not been represented. Who among them will be disqualified so that the minority will be represented? We need to be honest with ourselves. This is, to me, it has been overtaken by event. All the 11 nominees have been approved, and it is known to the world of Marsabit County, as we are discussing here, that they have been approved. Now we will go back. I think many members have contributed here, requesting for the governor to consider the minorities for the CEO position, which is pending. Which is fine, because already this one, it has been overtaken by event. Because I don't see any of those people, however they are from majority, that individual will be asked. Because we forgot to include the minority, we are going to disqualify you and give the position to the minority. It is absolutely unfair to that individual who has taken his or her time to appear before the committee and give his or her best in the interview. In my opinion, regional balance, to be honest, there's no sub-county that is as more cosmopolitan as Moyale. Moyale is cosmopolitan. I think a half of the community that lives in this county do live there. So as of regional balancing, maybe we should consider that Moyale is...
Order. Order, Burcha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank the honorable member because he has already accepted that minorities have not been considered, and regional balance, the way he's saying, is Moyale is cosmopolitan. Yes, it can be cosmopolitan, but the regional balance has to be taken care of by the constitution, not by the nominating authority. Otherwise, we are not against any member who has been brought to this house or any nominee. We are only saying, correcting the nominating authority that he has violated section of the law, and he has to follow the law. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Edin, you want to finish something? Please keep time, we are out of time. Make sure we are there to time.
Thank you. I was just giving a hint on the cosmopolitanship of Moyale sub-county, which maybe could also not justify the fact that minorities have been considered. The other oversight that the committee did was the fact that in their own wisdom, they should have at least given 1 or 2 examples of those minorities they had in their mind, so that we will not have ambiguity that creates confusion here. That community like Garre, who have a representative here, could as well be counted as minority. How could they make to this house when they are minority? The minorities have remained out there. They have remained out there because they don't have a simple number to even prompt to contest. So the assembly should have in their own the committee should have in their own wisdom identified to us who are these minorities they had in their mind at the moment they are drafting the report. So on my part, it's fine with me that the report and the amendment could be passed. Thank you.
Honorable Adano.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a few issues to raise. Number one, I want to appreciate the committee, first of all. I think most of us are just saying what we have seen about the report, but I can imagine there's so much work that went into and their time. That's number one. Number two, I also have a few issues with the report itself. The first one is the way the report was drafted. I think it's a lesson for the rest of the committees and other appointments to come. The main issue I noticed was we don't even have rankings. For those of you who have been to School of Science or somewhere, there's something called normal curve. Out of 11 guys, we don't expect all of you to pass exams. That's something we need to note for the future. So in future, we need to look at those aspects of our work. That's number one. Number two, I noticed one member abstained throughout for every member of that CC. So I would have loved to know who that member is because he hasn't done his job as a member of the committee. So we might need to petition him to leave the committee because he's not doing the job, whoever he is. So, or was it by design? So that's one. That's another issue. I want to take us now back to the issue of regional balance. Those of us who are in the house have to be genuine and frank with the people who have elected you. You can not tell me 6 people from one ward, one sub-county, it's a regional balance out of 11. It's mathematics, arithmetics. So that's not true. So let's not be disingenuous. Let's say facts as they are. Whether your brother is coming from, the appointing authority comes from your village or not, facts are facts. You can't change. Number two, there's something also to do with the law. The law which the majority team quoted is right. Unless you go to the Parliament of Kenya and change that law, you cannot sit here and argue with us which law you are talking about. And it's written in English. You can read. So there are some undisputed facts which you cannot argue about. So the fact that we know the minorities is not disputed.
I know Wata or Wayusori in my ward are minorities, even there. That's a fact. I know El Molos and where's my friend Corine? Dasanaj are minorities, even in other constituencies. So when you sit here and tell us, on a record, probably people are watching you at home, and you are seeing a honorable member and telling us that so and so are not majority or minority. Let's not discuss facts. So what the majority team have recommended in terms of their findings are right. In terms of minority, in terms of regional balance, it's a fact. The other team have to give us the reason why, which law says to the contrary. That's another issue. So what we are going to look, what we are looking at today are a few issues. Some are legal, some are factual. So one of the things I need us to recommend, and I want to put this to the House, is that yes, you've indicated that all the 11 members are qualified. If they are qualified, we reject them on laws which was broken by the appointing authority. So we need to get legal guidance, in my view, about this issue, because we are discussing issues not pertaining to their qualifications in any case, right? We are not discussing anything to do with their qualifications. Apparently, they are all qualified, and only one member has abstained, which means they are all qualified. So if they are all qualified, the appointing authority has not considered regional balance. He has not considered minority or the disadvantaged group within the county. Are we going to throw away? That's the question I want to pose to the House. Are we going to throw away the whole 11 nominees and say because of what the appointing authority have not followed? And that's what Meshima Edin, I think, was asking. Might we have even considered that issue before as a House? Might we have made a mistake already? So if tomorrow somebody goes to court based on this, even if you approve this report, it's legal, it's factual. Somebody will go to court and win that case. Therefore, the House needs to start looking at issues from that perspective. Are we going to get legal advice, or do we take it back to the appointing authority until they approve or they comply with the law? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Gom.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate the work done by the vetting committee. Indeed, it's this House that approved them to go and do this work. And as a matter of fact, they did their best. And I would like us to applaud them, because without them, we will not be here to discuss this report. So I really appreciate your effort. Indeed, I also want to give a point of information. We could not have rejected the list as it is before going through a vetting process. You know, it's the vetting process that will determine whether there is a minority, whether there is a majority, whether there is lack of, if the appointing governor, the appointing authority considered or either rejected some section of the law. So the vetting has to go on. So the issue of rejecting the list before it goes into the vetting process, it's not right. The other thing is, I think we need to understand the essence of the vetting committee. The committee should be giving us the aspect of whether the individual selected was suitable or the candidate was suitable, not to settle political differences or trying to approve something. That's my honest opinion. The other thing is to ensure whether there was a constitutional threshold that guided the appointing authority in coming up with the list of the members. And I just want us to give an example. We are going to be employing 3 staffs in our wards. Consider right now how difficult it is to please everyone. You know, that's the same process that an appointing authority goes through. That's the reality that we need to also address. The other issue is, in the national government, there were recent appointments on the cabinet secretaries. You realize almost a majority community takes the half of those cabinet secretaries' position, and it's approved in the national television by the parliamentarians. And no one have ever talking about El Molo, a reality that we want to address today in this House. Myself, I'm one of the community that we said we voted for Hasla government 99%, and we're never given a cabinet secretary position. And we're still complaining. You saw it the other day when we were with Chuma Murkomen.
Order, Honorable. Point of order.
The point of information is that when Rendiles are not considered, when Rendiles are not considered, and we consider them as minority in Kenya, equally, I want to say, we are so disappointed as Gabra community that nobody was appointed, and they are minority compared to other Kenyans.
Thank you. Honorable Gom, just finish your statement.
Point of order.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, I want the two honorable members to tell us which parameters did they use, because Burjis are also minority, and you are still waiting for the...
Order.
Point of information.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, Kenya ratifies to several regulations and acts and definitions to international bodies and organizations. Not unless this House gives me a laid down foundation of explanation or definition of minority here in Marsabit, I will go, and this will go into record, I will go by the definition of UNHCR that defines minority. A group as, unless you form half of the population in where you live, you are recorded or recognized as minority. And that's what qualifies Burji as minority in Marsabit County. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Honorable Daniela, you want point of order?
Mr. Speaker, protect me, please. Let me
Okay,
finish
I
my-
will.
Please protect me.
Thank you.
I want to finish.
You are
my
protected.
statement. Thank you. I'm sorry to grade a lot of point of information or correction. To continue with my point, I think my understanding of minorities are in different levels. There is national level of understanding of minority, where we're in the national government or national community, like Kenyan as a country, so there are minority groupings. So when we come to regional level, for example, Marsabit County, the minority also, definition of minority also differs. So a community like El Molo will maintain both in the national and the regional level minority. But probably if you go to, let's say if I give an example of my beloved community, Borana, there can be majority in Marsabit County but minority in the national level. So the understanding and the definition of minority differs in different aspects when we are coming to discuss. So I just want members to understand that minority may be defined in different ways. And again, one thing I don't want to use in this report that came in, I could not tell clearly. We may be looking forward to have an employment of YU or other community members sit down, but did they really apply? Did they, I mean, I didn't see any detailed report on the list of applicants who applied for this position. Probably. So I can't say right now in this house because I don't have that information. It's not in the report. And I'm guided by the report. So we may argue on something that people even may not have applied. So let's not be wasting a lot of our time in this regard. The other issue is academic qualifications that we said. This is a senior level position. And I think it requires managerial and leadership skill more to academic qualification that we are pushing for. So we are looking at an individual whether he has that managerial skill or leadership skills, not particularly what particular studies that person has done. So we look at, and the way I've seen, because all the members who are there approved and they have qualified and said they are all qualified, in my understanding, the qualification they have meant was the management and the leadership skill. So to me, they are all qualified to run this position. The other issue, probably I would have laughed, instead of probably arguing on aspect of minority regional balancing. It will have been very good if the vetting committee will have ironed out and come up with individuals who are not fit for this position. That way we could argue, instead of rejecting the whole list. But now, from their point of view, every individual who applied for this position is qualified and is fit to run this office. It is wrong to reject the entire list while you contradict yourself. It will be good next time, not now. I think it's too late. Next time, maybe you pinpoint individual members who you have issues with, who are not suitable.
Thank you, Honorable Member, for taking.
Thank you.
Honorable Daniela. information you want to give to Honorable Daniela?
No.
Okay.
Minorities should take their seat back and then wait the majorities to debate. I just want to give information. Somebody asked, what does the law say? This is what the law says. County Government Act, Section 35, Section 2B. We just quoted the law. The County Assembly shall not approve, shall means what? Shall not approve the appointment to the Executive Committee that did not take into account representation of the minorities, marginalized groups, and communities. That's what the law says. Also read Constitution of Kenya, Article 56. It says the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Daniela?
I just want to ask some information from the vetting committee that I asked before to the majority leader that there is a lady called Ahado Guyo Omoro who has an experience of 2 years.
Honorable member, order. The Hado is not a CC member.
No, in the panel. I'm talking of panel.
Now we shall debate when
okay.
we return. Thank
Now,
you. Point of order.
My other. No problem.
Order.
Speaker, please protect me.
Order, Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to know exactly, are we using the UNHCR article, or we are using the Constitution one, Article 56? That was said by Mheshimiwa Amos. Now going to the point of minorities, I want to echo all the things that Mheshimiwa Thomas would have said, Mheshimiwa Butcher, that there is always next time. And let's not just take it for granted that minority is a real definition for those who are minorities. Let's not joke because we are on record, and we can't say that Mheshimiwa from the Gari community is a minority. That's not a serious thing that we should take from this house. But that doesn't mean that we are saying they are not supposed to be in this county. So kindly, members, let's know the meaning of minority. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Hadi, you want to say something?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask to revisit the issue of regional balance. Honorable members have said that Moyale is a cosmopolitan. So is Marsabit. So is Saku, sub-county. So the issue that they're saying, the point that they're saying, it qualifies, the appointing authority qualified, is in order to appoint 6 members from Moyale. I think it doesn't hold any water. Because in Marsab, in Saku, there is Burji, there is Gabra, there is Borana, there is Rendile, there are also Samburus. So for Nodor, it's only 1 person appointed. Laisamis is 2, and Moyale is 6. And which other sub-county? Saku only 1. And so that is not fair. On the point of minority, there is no minority in that list. If we qualify minorities, there's no minority in that list. And but as an assembly, let's not try to fit things just to fit our argument. Because minorities, we only have 14 tribes in Marsabit County because they are indigenous. Let's not fit others. If I go to Meru, I don't even qualify to be a minority. I don't even qualify to be in the list. Thank you.
Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable Tura. Honorable Tura, order. Honorable members, I think we had given enough time for debate for this motion. I now put the question. Honorable members. Question on amendment of this motion, moved by Honorable Rare, seconded by Honorable Amos, that the appointment did reflect the community and cultural diversity of the county in accordance with the Section 35(1)(a) of the County Government Act 2012, that the appointing authority consider the representation of the minorities in accordance with the Section 35(2)(b) of the County Government Act 2012, that the appointment consider the regional and ethnic balance. Honorable members, As many as of that opinion say ayes. Ayes. As many as of contrary opinion say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. Next order. Next order. Majority Leader. Okay, Majority Leader, motion mover.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now we look at the report of the CECs and the Attorney General. The amendment was approved. The floor of the House. I just want to tell the members that now the 10 CECs and the Attorney, the Office of the Attorney, the representative of the Attorney, have been approved. The amendment was accepted by the House. This House of Numbers. The only thing that you need to put in record that somebody said Moyale deserves 6 out of 10, and the 3 other sub-counties only deserve 4. I want that to be in the record, that the next time you don't change here. 2.
Order, honorable member. Order.
2. I also want to put the record that minorities we have
Order
in
majority.
Marsabit.
Order majority. Order
I'm
majority.
finishing. You have no order now. We're just concluding it.
Okay.
It's not the majority only talking, so the rest just listen. I also want to be in record that in this house today, the minorities are the Kisis and not Wayus in this house.
Thank you.
The Almoros and Dasnach are not. Thank you very much. You adopt the report, and the minority have their say, majority have their way. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. Next order, Clerk.
Motion by Honorable Diakono.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
Honorable members, we are looking at the report of the Vetting and Appointment Committee on the vetting of the nominee on the serve as the selection panel. Please, I want to confirm before I go through the report whether everybody got the report. We don't want to have a break again because it's late. Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Vetting and Appointments established under Standing Order number 185-1. The committee draws its mandate from Standing Order 42-2C. In addition, in the communication dated 19 October 2022 by the Speaker of the Marsabit County Assembly, it was stated that in view of the Section 58A of the County Government Amendment Act 2020 as read together with the Standing Order 42-2 and Standing Order 185 of the County Assembly Standing Orders, the nomination of the members to serve on the selection panel shall stand committed to the Committee on Vetting and Appointment. Committee membership, Honorable Speaker, the membership of the committee is as follows as per Standing Order 185-1. Honorable Edwin Wario, Chair. Honorable Did Omar Rapicha, Member. Honorable Leakono, Member. Honorable Alcano Ali, Member. Honorable Burcha, Member. Honorable Ebise, Member. Honorable Darare, Member. Honorable Daniel Emojo, Member. Honorable James Korea, Member. Honorable Joseph Lerouk, Member. Honorable Josephine, Member. However, Honorable Buke Dida Yatani was appointed by the majority whip to represent Honorable Darare Gonche during the vetting process through the office of the Speaker pursuant to Standing Order 173-1. See the annex attached to the best. Honorable Speaker, you want me to summarize. When you don't have report, you complain. When I read the report, you want summary. Thank you. I'll do what you want. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Section 42, 44, and 58-1C, as read in Section 58A of the County Government Amendment Act 2012, His Excellency the Governor forwarded to the Speaker of the Marsabit County Assembly the names of the following 5 nominees by a letter dated 25th September 2022 for vetting by the relevant committee of the County Assembly and consideration for approval by the County Assembly for appointment as members of the selection panel to recruit and nominate persons to fill the vacancies in the membership of the County Public Service Board and County Secretary. The following were nominated persons as members of the selection panel in line with Section 58A2 of the County Government Act 2012. 1. Joseph Guyo Halake to represent chairperson of the panel as per Section 58A2A. Hawo Guyo Shibia, representative of the private sector according to Section 58A2B. Abdulatif Mohammed Jarso, advocate of the High Court of Kenya according to Section 58A2C. Ahago Guyo Umuro, certified public account in accordance with Section 58A2D. Bursuna Ezekiel Ejere, representative from an association of representative workers in accordance with Section 58A2A. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 42-2C, the Honorable Speaker informed the Assembly in 19 October 2020 that he had received the notification of the nominees. The nomination was referred to the Committee on the Vetting and Appointment on the same day. For the vetting and report to the Assembly within 24 days in accordance with the Section 9.1 of the Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act 2017. Honorable Speaker, the committee met on the same day of 19th October 2022 in the afternoon to plan for approval. Hearing consequently, the committee agreed to vet all the nominees on 2nd November 2022. All the nominees appeared before the committee on Wednesday 2nd November 2022 and were vetted accordance with the provision of the Constitution Public Appointment County Assemblies Approval Act 2017 and Standing Order 42-2C of the Marsabit County Assembly Standing Order on the suitability of appointment to form the membership of the selection panel that will select and fill vacancy of CEOs in the County Public Service Board, CEO in the County Public Service Board, and County Secretary. In total, the committee held 6 sittings in consideration of this matter. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I take this opportunity to thank all members of the committee for their input and valuable contribution during the deliberation of the vetting exercise. On behalf of the committee, I also take this opportunity to thank the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk, the County Assembly for the logistic and technical support according to it during the entire vetting exercise. The committee is also grateful to the media for their coverage of the proceedings for the committee, thus enhancing accountability and transparency of the vetting exercise. The committee made several findings during the vetting exercise. This finding guided the committee in the making of its final recommendation, which was to approve the 5 nominees. This was solely based on the evidence and information from the proceeding of the committee. During the vetting exercise, the recommendation was unanimously agreed upon by the committee members during the adoption of the report. On behalf of the committee and pursuant to Section 58A of the County Government Act, Section 9 of the Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act number 5 of 2017, it's my pleasure and duty to table the report of the Committee on Vetting and Appointment on the vetting of the 5 nominees for appointment to the position of the selection panel, which I did. Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Vetting and Appointment is one of the select committee established under Standing Order number 185-1 with the mandate to consider for approval by the county appointments. There shall be a select committee to the designated of the Committee on the Vetting and Appointment to be appointed. Section 4 of the Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act 2017 number this provide thus an appointment under Constitution or any other law of which the approval of the county assembly is required shall not be made unless the appointment is approved by the relevant county assemblies in accordance with this act. Section 58 of the County Government Act of 2012 requires His Excellency the Governor to nominate and, with the approval of the county assembly, appoint members to the selection panel for the purpose of selecting suitable candidates for appointment members of the County Public Service Board and County Secretary. Standing Order 52-2C, the said committee is mandated to vet and select panel. Now, when you look at page 5 and 6, I want to go back to recommendation now. Because you said you went through the report. Every member has his own report. And before I go to the recommendation of the committee, before I read the recommendation of the committee, I want to ask one member, Honorable Korea, to second this report. Was not seconded. Thank you. Now, when you look at all those who have been vetted, one by one, you went through the report. This is the recommendation of the committee. Pursuant to Section 58A of the County Government Act 2012 and Section 992 of the Public Appointment County Assembly Approval Act 2017, the committee recommends that this County Assembly approves the following 5 nominees for appointment by His Excellency the Governor as members of the select panel for the purpose of selecting suitable candidate for appointment of the CEO of the County Public Service Board and County Secretary as follows. 1. Joseph Guyo Halake, Chairperson of the panel, according to Section 58A2A. Hawo Guyo Shibia, representative of the private sector, according to Section 58A2B. Abdulatif Mohamed Jarso, advocate of the High Court of Kenya, according to Section 58A2C. Ahado Guyo Umuro, certified public accountant, in accordance with Section 58A2D. Bursuna Ejere Ezekiel, representative for the association representing workers in accordance with Section 58A2E. So, honorable members, we urge the honorable House that the 5 members we vetted, the committee had approved them, that they are suitable, and we urge the House also to support that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Majority Leader. And let me take this opportunity to open the floor for the House to debate and to pose the question for the House to debate on the same. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Leruk.
Thank you, Speaker. I second the approval of the select panel for simple reason. There is no petition laid unto them, and there is and their suitability is okay. So I stand to pray for this House to make approval of the 5 select committees. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Leruk. Yes, Honorable Sadia.
Honorable Speaker, I think the committees are recommending that we pass the 5, the panel. Mr. Speaker, I think we are supposed to, you read the mood of the House so that we can pass the nominees. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, honorable members. I now propose the question that this county assembly adopt the vetting and appointment committee report that the following selection panels members nominated by His Excellency the Governor be appointed to the position assigned to them. 1. Joseph Guyo Halake, chairperson to the panel. Hawa Guyo Shibia, representative from private sector. Abdulatif Mohamed Jarso, advocate for the High Court of Kenya. Ahado Guyo Umuro, certified public accountant. Bursuna Ezekiel Ejere, representative from an association representing the workers. As many as of that opinion will say aye. Okay. Now it is for that time for debating, on the same.
Speaker, these nominees for this panel, I don't think so whether there is a lot of crucial debating on them because they are not the employee of the county. They are only going to be in that panel of CEO, Public Service Board, and the County Secretary. And in this case, we don't even want to look the regional balance, minority. No. I think after, is it 14 days or 3 weeks, they are done with their exercise and take the report to the appointing authority, and now appointing authority will bring the names to the county assembly for vetting and other processes to be undertaken. So having not having any issues here, I think the mood of this house, they are in agreement with the committee report, and I think instead of wasting time and keeping us here, because it is also late, let us just approve them and then be given their mandate to go and do their activity or what they are supposed to do for that panel. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Now I put a question that this County Assembly approve the following 5 nominees for appointment by His Excellency the Governor as members of the selection panel for the purpose of selecting suitable candidate for the appointment of CEO of the County Public Service Board and the County Secretary as follows. 1. Joseph Guyualake, chairperson to the panel according to the section 58A2. How Oguyo Shibia, representative of the private sector according to the section 58(2)(b). Abdulatif Mohammed Jarso, advocate of High Court of Kenya according to the section 58(2)(c). Ahado Oguyo Omuro, certified public accountant in accordance with section 58(a)(2)(d). Bursuna Ezekiel Ejere, representative from Association representing workers in accordance with section 58(a)(2)(e). Will, as of the many opinion of as they say, yes? May I have it? Thank you, honorable members. Now I adjourn the House as from 9th to 15 on recess to the 16th Wednesday. Thank you.
Nini? Nini? Nini bro? You ya nini?